So today's card is your inner guidance is true and trustworthy. Now, normally when I get this card, what it means is that I am not trusting what my guides and helpers are telling me. So I need to sort of take a breath and check why that is happening. So I'm hoping that today they'll give us a little bit of a chat about that and how we can combat it or something better. Yes, we often face this problem with many mediums, light workers, light warriors, because it is often the ego is getting in the way of the information. Because many of you are so used to listening to your own guidance, to making your own decisions in certain things, that you ignore what we are trying to tell you. And this is why we are coming forward today to remind you that it's not all about holding the baggage, holding the cross, holding the problem all by yourself. We are here to help you. And as we are a team, we are helping our team member to understand what is coming and also to give them some advice on how to deal with what is coming. Because often many of you are looking at the problem facing something and you're not looking at all the options. So, as we always keep telling you, just ask us for help, ask us for advice, ask us to step in and guide you through what is going on. Because many of you sit there and you think, what can I do about this problem? I've tried everything. Well, the next issue is to look up. And we mean look up to the divine and ask us for help. Because what we often advise is if you get overwhelmed with who shall I ask for this problem, who shall I ask about what to do, ask the divine, and the divine will send you who is the most appropriate for your issue. So all you have to do is say, dear divine, I cannot fathom answer to this issue. Can you please help me? And then you just allow the natural process to happen. As the card says, allow your inner guidance then to take over. Allow the divine to show you through your heart energy and mind what you should do next, to guide you through what feels right, to show you that that little thing that you've been ignoring is right, is correct, is the thing that you should be doing. And many of you are frightened to do this because it would upset people, it would change your life, it would cause something to happen that you're not ready for. But here's the secret. If it has to be done, it has to be done. And sometimes it is better to do what you are doing now than to wait when the situation will be even worse. Because many of you delay doing something and then the outcome becomes extreme. So it is better, as we've said, to do it at a time when it is just a small issue, small challenge, rather than it turns into a big challenge. And also on the flip side, you should always check if it is us that is talking to you. So if you are worried that the information you are being given is not right, all you have to do is ask, do you serve the light? And you ask this 3 times. And if during any of the times you ask there is a negative answer or no answer, then you can ask that this being step away from you. And they won't, ask myself, Archangel Michael, or your guardian angels to remove this being so that they leave you alone. And then you may have to make sure that your space is protected by the archangels, cleared by the archangels, and then you start the process again. And then that way you will know that the guidance that you receive is of the highest good. But we also ask you, as we just said, you always ask for the highest good of all involved, if it's a group, or for my highest good, so that you get the best answer for that situation. Because many of you ask 101 questions and don't give us enough time to answer them. You don't wait for the answer. You're on straight to the next question. You haven't let that answer settle into your energy or into your mind. And this is another thing that you need to do. You need to give yourself time to allow that energy to settle, that answer to come into your life. Because once you make a decision on that answer, it changes things around you. It changes things within you. You have made a decision that is going to change something. So you must allow that change to take place and settle before you start to move around and move into another issue. Because by clearing that issue, the next issue may disappear automatically. So this is another reason why we say you need to follow a step, you need to follow a process. Don't rush from one thing to another, because rushing often causes problems, often causes mistakes. So flow into the answer for one issue, rest, let it take precedent, let it work, let it do what it has to do, and then flow into the next one. Because all those issues you were thinking about would disappear with the answer to one issue, and then you can look at the issues that are left. But we ask that you do not use your mind for so much. If you have used every single thing that you can think of, written information, people speaking to you, you speaking to people, 101 different things, and you cannot find the answer, then the next answer is spiritual. You have to get in touch with the divine and ask your heart to give you the answer. So this is what we ask you to do. As someone once said, you cannot solve the problem with the same way that you caused the problem. So if your thinking caused the problem, you need to use a spiritual answer. If a spiritual outcome caused the problem, you have to think about it and you have to use your logical mind. And so if it's your emotions, you have to use your logic instead of your emotions, and so on and so forth. So we ask you to think of that. Look at the opposite of where you have been trying to solve the problem. And we ask you to trust. Trust is one of the biggest things that you must do. Trust, once you have the answer, once you feel the answer is right, even if it's really, really making you feel upset, but you know that the answer is right, you must trust us. You must trust that the answer to what is coming, and that after all is settled, you will receive why we did what we did for you. We often do this with this one. We don't tell them what it is that is coming because they will get in the way, because they will try and fix it before it happens, and often it makes things worse. So that is why we do not tell them. We just let the process naturally happen, and then we guide them as the process is happening. And then when we come out the other side, we tell them what was going on, because your humanity will always try and fix things, and fixing isn't always the answer. Sometimes you just have to let the natural process take place and flow through it until you get to the other side. So we ask you to trust when you have been given the right information. But if you feel it's not the right information, then check it is beings of light that are talking to you. Check that it's your heart giving you the information rather than your mind. Check that you've asked the divine because you've exhausted all the other things. But most of all, we ask that you trust. One of the biggest things, we have to trust. And as people, as humans, as adults, that is one of our biggest things. Trust is very, very hard. we need to trust more and allow the process to happen. So, see you again. Bye.